Hello everyone. How many times have you heard you shouldn't feel like this? Sounds familiar? Well, let's talk today then about emotions and feelings and why it is worth understanding the difference between them. Emotions are physical reactions in our body in a response to a certain situation and can be noticed in elevated heart rate or can be seen in facial expressions. On the other hand, feelings come from our mind and are the results of interpretation of our emotions. Therefore, different people can have different reactions to the similar events. So the feelings also tend to be colored by the stories we tell ourselves, and this explains why two different people may feel totally different in relation to the same situation. For me personally, it was a very important distinction to organize my emotions and my feelings because it allowed me to notice the connection between my reactions, particular feelings or emotions, and certain memories from the past, which then together were the catalyst of my behavior. So, our feelings get inspired by our emotions and are instigated by our memories from the past by a certain thought pattern. And this process happens very quickly in our mind because in just split seconds we make assumptions when someone tells us how we should feel or actually not to feel, and based on what we hear we make a meaning, and that meaning then triggers frustration or anger or disappointment or sadness in us. However, let's remember that our thoughts about the situation are just our own conclusions which we draw on the spot and are not always correct, as they are based on our emotional responses to the situation. And this is where the challenge lies, because we do it involuntarily and we do it all the time. So the more we actually become aware of our emotions and feelings and our reactions to them, the more choice we have how we want to show up in the world. So having that choice gives us actually a deep sense of freedom and inner peace, as opposed to being in a state of guilt and judgment and clinging to our story, which in most cases does not serve us well. So there are many ways to become more aware of our reactions and to see what drives our feelings. The good start can be to notice our internal negative conversations we having with ourselves and to identify our typical thought patterns. How to do it? Well, simply try to draw your attention to the moments of the day when you have or had negative feelings and understand what triggered them. And then focus on what you would like to feel instead and what you would have to change in the way you think to actually feel differently. And I really encourage you to practice this first step relentlessly, because only by being more aware of what we are reacting to and how we think about it is the base for building a meaningful relationship with ourselves. And at the end, much more smoother ride each day.